Nagabenta ki khubor baman kasni pet bat subscribe ya u Antor News.
Kublay fi baro kini kilong ki khubor bam tasngi. Umentri rang ba kajelau konrat ki sang maula kentat ya kajing keno ba kajing kenat kabami nak hakarali tuk jong ka KSU Student Union KSU kadai namar kajing bom tri kam bah jong kitna sentet ne ka intelligent failure hynrei ula kubur ba ka sorkar kalasha ban pynkyndit ya kajing he bat rukom le jongkin nong penklumar. Ukonrat ula ong baka sorkar kala don jing tip shipang karali bat kala penkre ru ya kala jing yada. Hynrei namar karali kala yaj lingba ki babun jaka bat ka penduna ya ki pulit ban pahara haman laki bentah. Kala bujing ya ki bor pulit ban telakam marmar ya kajing long jingman. Kala don kajing ya stu bat kajing kular baka rali kan long kaba peaceful. Wat ki paj baru ki lasya pynkyndit banyu iya karukom le jong katu kat ne ki nompen kelumar. Kaba ngim pat juyu i mensyuah. Laong menteri rang ba. Ula pentip ba hadu mentah la itu ya kumbasan ngut ki badon keti ha kajing tombor. Kat ba kajing tokit kadang ya syakmat ban lap ya baro ki badon bentah. Ula kular baka sorkar kan om ino ya kano kalat tokit bat kaba baro kiba syo pen mensau ya ki pajba bat penjulor ya ki kali kinsya penyang hakmat ka ain halor kajing kerpat ban penlat ya kinoi lam ka KSU konrat ula ong ba ka ain ka don na kabenta ban le ya kakam bat ka sorkar kam de ban tuklar ya kajing trikam jongkah kan omlong ka badai haka sensyar khadar ban penkala ya ka kendon ain tang namar ba kawei kaseng kawai ka kenhun na uwai ubru udawa. Tongin ailat ya ka ain bahkan le ya kakam ula ong. Umentri rang ba ula pentip ru baka sorkar kalapha da kajing khot kaba rasmi sya ka KSU banwan sya kajing ya keren halor kamat jindawa jongkah. Ula ong baka sorkar ka khmi lenti ban yo ya ka jubab bat ban penlong ya kajing ya keren hapo ka bakloi. Haba jubab ya kajing kentho ba uklem don ha shilong ha kapor jong kajinja ukonrat ula ong ba ula don lepa ha kiwei pat ki program bat jinyalang kiba kongsan. Hynrei ula pensyai ba kajing bom don jong ha shilong kam syem lakta ya kajing trekam jong sorkar. Ula ong ba usembut menteri rang ba ukhmi ya katnat kampo ing ula budin hi ya kajing long jingman kat ba menteri rang ba bat ki he sorkar ki laya keren man la kapor ban shim ya karai ka bakar ki ka sorkar kam syong ha uwei bro kadon ka kenhun ka bapai ya baro ki banta jong ka sensyar ka khadar ngilaya keren jan man la ka kenta bat ngila pentikena bahkan omdon ka jingduna ha ka jing trikam ula ong halor ka jing khang lenti ya ki kali Meghalaya ha Asam bat ka jing kta ya ka kiet ka ba Umentri rang ba ula ong baka sorkar kala ban telakam ya kajing long jingman hapo kapor ka balingkot lengba kajing ya trei bat kajing ya keren bat kajing ya trilang bat ka Asam ka sorkar kan pej benia ru ya kimat kiba unong yalam na kalyang persya ula pensngo hapo ka ing dorbar ukonrat ula ong ba kan sapen bahaya ka kenton bat ki DOS an DONTS haba ai jimbiet ya kirali profession bat kiwe kijingya lang pajba khnang ban khanglat ya kum kini kijingja haki por banwan ula kentu ya kaseng bat ki kenhun bat ya baro kinong simbenta kinya treilang bat nuanra biang ya kajingshanya bat jinsong suk songsan ula ong bawat la baro kidon ya kahok ban penlong ya jingya ki ka bajai Hynrei omdon manu ubala ban shim ya ka an hala ki jong kikti. Kajing tombor bat kajing syok ya ki breu ki balui dei uput uban dei ban jam ka sorkar kan le ya kaba teng e persya ya kiba persyang ban penmi ya kajing shapting hap deng ka imlang salang laong u.
Addressing the issue here in the state capital, your response?
Well, number one, that this happened on the day I was already in the flight. I was traveling. And of course, I had multiple programs and meetings. So that's number one. And my schedule was already fixed. Number two, it is not just one person. there is an entire team that looks into all aspects of governance. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister in charge of Home was personally monitoring the situation, and the entire team, including Chief Secretary and DGP and other police officials, all were here. And more importantly, in today's technology world, we were in touch almost every hour, discussing almost every aspect, and ensuring that whatever quick decisions needed to be made, those decisions were made, and there was no gap in terms of the action that had to be taken. So therefore, yes, I had commitments, and as a government we have multiple commitments. It's not possible for us to always change those commitments, because these are commitments made at national level to different governments, to different organizations, and therefore they are also highly sensitive in nature. But as I said, that did not in any way deter or did not affect the overall work that we were doing, and we ensured that whatever monitoring had to be done, and the presence of the entire team was here all the time.
So the leader of opposition has accused government of being caught in slumber because they have given their ultimatum, and yet the government didn't act on that. Before the bike rally also, there were already small mild protests that were being carried out, yet the government was caught sleeping. That's what the opposition has said.
Well, everybody has the right to their views, but there is much more going on behind the scenes than what meets the eye. Multiple communications continuously are happening, were happening, and a lot of discussion took place. Yet, in spite of the communication, for whatever reason, the meetings before the rally could not take place. But that does not mean that we were not communicating. We were absolutely communicating. I don't want to go into details of that, because that's something that is part of our process. And as I said, multiple communications were happened, and is happening even now.
So August 19 incident happened, fallout resolved, but the demand of the KSU still lingers on. How does the government intend to move forward with this?
Well, we have written to them today, officially this time, and asked them to come for discussions and for talks. We expect that we will get some response, maybe by today evening or maybe tomorrow, and we will discuss all the 5 agendas and the points that I mentioned.
So other NGOs, while condemning the August 19 violence, but they have asked the government to revoke invoking of MPDA and MMPO against KSU leaders, and UDP has also demanded release of the leaders of the KSU. What do you have to say on this?
You see, the law is in place for a reason, and whatever happens, the law will take its course, and therefore it will be incorrect for me or anybody to simply come in and say that the rules and the laws will change because it's one organization or different organization or one individual. I think that is not proper in governance. Therefore, please allow the law to take its own course. I think it's not proper for us to interfere. And the laws have been made for that purpose, and it will move ahead with that purpose.
But
So the leader of
political
opposition-
conspiracy behind this.
Well, we are investigating the entire aspect, and we are not closing any of the possibilities. We're looking at all aspects. We saw the statement made by the General Secretary of KSU right after the incident happened, saying that that it was not their people who were involved in the violence. But obviously, at that point in time, given the circumstances and given all the situation, the reports and everything we had, and the intel that we had at that point in time, we took action based on that. But as I said, we are not going to leave any stone unturned. That statement was made by the General Secretary of the KSU. So obviously we're going to ensure that investigation is done on all fronts.
So the leader of opposition has just a while ago has demanded the government to file FIRs against non-state actors for this road blockade, especially essential commodities carrying.
Yeah, we have managed to, situation has been brought under control in kind of a limited period of time. A lot of discussions took place in the front, behind, and communication was being done. So the idea is to resolve the issues. I think that is what is the primary objective that we have in front. We will definitely examine the points that have been placed by the Honorable LO, and we'll see after examining how maybe we should move forward in that. But we'll examine it.
Public allegedly blame that the police intelligence they are failure between in the clash with the KSU.
You see, intelligence failure is a very easy word to use. It's a kind of a buzzword which, you know, if any situation happens, then the most jazzy word to use is intelligence failure. There was no intelligence failure as such. All the aspects were looked into. But to be very frank, we also work in one sense on the basis of some trust and some kind of assurance, and we move forward with that kind of trust and assurance also. Plus, as I said, when we have a movement of this scale taking place, sometimes it's physically not possible for us to place people everywhere. But we had our people along the routes. And the scale and the overall geographic area in which the incidents were happening led to a lot of complexity for us to monitor the situation on the ground immediately. And obviously, as I said, our manpower also was spread out. And the kind of, if this was one place, then it's easier, our numbers are there. So all of these challenges were there. But most importantly, as I mentioned, that there was a very clear understanding that this rally will be peaceful and there is no intention. And as I said, to some extent, we have kept that word, and we said that yes, that's what we expect. And I'm sure that not just for us, but even for the public, they must have been quite surprised to see the kind of behavior at that point in time by these miscreants. And we are still identifying, as I said, we have identified 5 of them. But people are quite surprised and shocked at the way these miscreants had behaved, which was just something that was, in a way, unprecedented and never seen before. So yeah, was the intelligence failure? No. But were we caught by surprise in some sense by the scale and the action? Yes, we were. But we knew what was happening. We had kept, but the scale was something that, as I said, have not seen in the past, and and it went to a scale where it was unprecedented.
What step the government is taking, sir, to ensure that tourists come to Meghalaya and that fear is allayed?
See, law and order situation does happen. I'm not saying it's something that we're trying to kind of say that that it doesn't happen other places. I'm not trying to justify any kind of situation, but law and order situation does happen. And while that happens, these kind of incidents, and there is always an inconvenience that actually the public has to face. And that is what we saw in this last 1 week when the situation was there. But as I said, we have taken very, very swift measures and steps to ensure that to some extent the tension doesn't further escalate. So therefore, we don't expect any escalation to happen in the future. But we are now trying to de-escalate and bring back the sense of confidence in the people. I'm sure it will start coming in very soon. People will see for themselves, and we expect that normalcy will return. And we do urge all our stakeholders that whether it's from Assam, from Meghalaya, whether it's all different organizations, whether it's tourist stakeholders, we all will have to work together and ensure that the normalcy that we would want and the kind of de-escalation we would want would happen at the earliest. So a lot of reach out programs, confidence building will have to be done, which, as I said, all of us will do together.
Will the government bring a SOP for processionists, those who carry out
Procession.
So normally in this kind of situations, there are already terms and conditions that are put when the permission is given of what are the do's and don'ts. Now basically what we'll have to do is we'll have to increase those do's and don'ts, and we'll have to add what are the things. And as I said, the situation, as I said, will also ensure that we are able to impose now stricter regulations. And as I said, the terms and conditions will always be there in the permission that is granted.
So former
Sir,
Rajya Sabha MP.
Sir, regarding this, since 5 people.
And that out, or rather, I don't have that information with me right now. I will review the situation today, and maybe I'll be in a better position to tell you later on. But as I said, we have identified, and action is being taken against those, and further, steps will be continued to ensure that all those who are involved and all the miscreants who are involved, who have led to the situation, they will be all brought to justice.
So
But
just
they
one more
publicly
question.
said in this issue that the government they are playing game like Ludo game. This KSU. How you want to do that?
Sorry, I didn't get to that.
See,
What does that
See.
mean?
see the issue of the KSU. Only year and year, month and month they had demand the government, but the government they are playing Ludo. They don't to respond that issue KSU.
Okay. I don't know what the Ludo game has to do with this, but let me assure you that that is not the case. In most of the fronts, in fact, work has been happening. There has been some communication gaps, and whatever the points that have come up, we will be clarifying in the joint meeting that we will have with the members of the KSU. So whatever clarifications are required, we will give them. But from our side, as I said, that in almost all the aspects, whether it's this organization or any other organization that has come forward, the government has been very prompt in responding to most of it, in the sense that we have been clear whether we can do or we cannot do, and wherever we can do, we have given the commitment and we have moved forward. There could be, as I said, some communication gap. We will ensure that we have the meeting and we'll clarify all those points.
What is the response of the KSU in regards to this offer by the government for talks?
We don't know. The letter must have gone by now, but we'll get to know maybe later in the afternoon or evening.
So just one more. Even though you've already touched.
Our message, or my message and the government's message to the citizen, is that whatever happened was very, very unfortunate. And there are people who try to create fear in the system and in the society. And we will not leave those people. We're going to take very, very strong action against those people who have tried to create that fear. And our citizens should not be worried. Yes, there was certain inconvenience that was caused. We do agree to that because of the reaction that we saw from our neighboring state, and then that had to be again controlled and discussed and negotiated. But now that we have got all of that behind us, I think we should move in a positive manner. We should definitely, all of us should learn, in fact, not just the government, but all of us, including from organizations, associations, and different stakeholders, and ensure that whatever steps can be taken in the future to ensure that while we have the right to have peaceful protest, it does not mean that you can take the law in your hand, and especially it does not mean that you can do anything that you want, and especially beating up and harming innocent people. So that's something, a strong message must go from all of us. And it's very important, and I've been sharing with everybody, that society must also at one point in time must come out regarding this. As I said, we have been one of the most open governments. When it comes to any issue, we have been very open to discuss with the issues. When it comes to any kind of talks and discussions that are there, we've always been open to talks and discussions. But as I said, there's a line that we have to draw, and one cannot cross the line. And that is the message that we have for everybody, that please don't try to do that. And if anybody does, then we will have to